Session 9. Session 9. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. With the name of God, who is most gracious and merciful. Na'maduhu nusalli ila rasulihil kareem. And we begin with the blessings of Allah on Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. O Rabb, open my heart, ease my task. Brothers and sisters, we'll continue with Surah Baqarah and verse 63 now. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِيثَاقَكُمْ وَرَفَعْنَا فَوْقَكُمُ الطُّورَ خُذُوا مَا آتَيْنَاكُمْ بِقُوَّةٍ وَاذْكُرُوا مَا فِيهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And also remember when we forced an oath on you, and by raising on you your heads the Mount Tur, saying, hold the book Torah that we have given to you firmly, and remember what is contained in it. Follow the commandments in it, therein, so that you fear Allah at all times. When Prophet Musa brought Torah, the Israelites saw that some of its orders were difficult to obey. As such, they started a quest to get rid of them. First, they said that God should order us himself, that following Torah is necessary, it is a must. Though such a demand was unfair, misplaced, however, to take them to the end, two people among them were selected and sent with Prophet Moses to Mount Tur. As it is been stated in Quran, Surah Al-Araf, in verse 145, Allah ordered them directly to abide by Torah. But when they returned, they did certify their people that Allah did order to abide by, follow Torah, but added one thing from their own selves, that Allah also said that abide by it to the extent you can easily, but what you cannot do would be forgiven. As such, whichever injunction of Torah appeared difficult to them, they would make an excuse that this order too is among the concession that has been given. At this time, Allah raised Mount Tur on them and told them to obey all the orders, injunctions of Torah. When they suspected and feared that the mount may not be released on their heads, they promised to believe and obey all the injunctions of the book. This verse points towards this event. Raising Mount Tur on their heads may have been done by removing it from its place, hanging over their heads, and as per various traditions. Obviously, Allah can do anything, any way He likes. It may also be made clear that nobody can be forced to believe, to accept Iman. But once a person becomes a believer, he can be punished for disobedience, and he can be warned, threatened to make him comply with the religious orders. Since the Israelites had already become believers, as such, they were threatened with punishment to make them obedient. Verses 65 and 66 now. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمْتُمُ الَّذِينَ تَدَوْا مِنْكُمْ فِي السَّبْتِ فَقُلْنَا لَهُمْ كُونُوا قِرَادَةً خَاسِئِينَ. 65. And you know very well already about those among you, our Israelites, your Israelites predecessors, who disobeyed regarding our orders not to fish on Saturdays. Then we said, order them to become monkeys, disgraced, and so they turned into monkeys. Verse 66, so we فَجْعَلْنَاهَا نَكَلًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيْهَا وَمَا خَلْفَهَا وَمَوْعِظَةً لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. So we made this occurrence happening an example, a lesson for the ones who were there and for those to come thereafter, and a lesson for those who fear Allah. Saturday is called Sabbath. It was a holy day with Jews on which they were stopped from working. The Jews which are mentioned here probably belonged to the time of Prophet David, lived close to some sea and survived in fighting. They were forbidden fishing on Saturdays, but in the beginning they tried to disobey this order, making various excuses, and thereafter began fishing openly and unhesitatingly. Some pious people tried to stop them, but they didn't and continued fishing. At last they were punished and they were turned into monkeys. I think this has been repeated. This event is covered in Surah Al-Araf. Now, 61, 72 verses. This was ordered to find the murderer of a victim, but Israelites considered it a joke as to how can a murderer be discovered by sacrificing a cow. In the beginning, they were ordered to sacrifice a cow. No particular cow was mentioned. As such, had they sacrificed any cow, the order would have been fulfilled, obeyed. But they started probing unnecessarily. As such, Allah also put new conditions. So finding such a cow which could fulfill all these conditions became difficult for them. At a stage, it appeared that they may not be able to find and sacrifice such a cow. The lesson from this event is probing unnecessarily is not advisable. An order which is simple should be obeyed in a simple, straight manner. Verse 73. فَقُلْ نَضْرِبُوهُ بِبَعْضِهَا كَذَلِكَ يُحْيِي اللَّهُ الْمَوْتَى وَيُرِيكُمْ آيَاتِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Then we said, strike the dead body with a piece of the slaughtered cow. The dead became alive to give out the name of the man who had killed him. So would Allah bring to life the dead, re-raise the mankind, and makes you see certain examples of His power, so that you ponder, think over these things. As per various narrations, a man from the Israelites killed one of his brothers to take his property and threw his carcass on the road. Then he went himself to Prophet Moses that the murderer should be apprehended and punished. At this occasion, Prophet Musa, as per orders from Allah, asked them to sacrifice a cow. When the cow was sacrificed, he ordered that any part of the cow may be picked up and hit on the murdered man's carcass, dead body. The man would become alive and would give out the name of the killer. As such, this is exactly what happened, and the killer was disclosed, exposed, and apprehended. One benefit of finding out the killer was that the killer was left with no excuse, cover to save himself. And the second and major benefit was that those people were totally silenced who used to say that there will be no second life, and second life is impossible. This is also a message, a lesson for the entire mankind, that this is how Allah would re-raise all the people. So whenever the Satan devil misguides, this event must be recapitulated. Secondly, the Israelites had been worshipping the calf and had great sanctity, reverence in their hearts for cows as well, to which they were giving preference over obedience to Allah. Unfortunately, even today, many of our Muslims keep and retain some cow in our hearts. It may be in the shape of love for some individual, love for some guy, that's GUY in English, or love for wealth, or popularity, authority, to which we give preference over the orders of Allah. Thus, a Muslim should always be mindful that he doesn't have a cow in his heart, and love and fear of Allah remains the uppermost in his heart and mind at all occasions and at all places. Jazakallah. Thank you.